The revelers left for their bedchambers, and the hall was still and empty for the pages and the palettes and the Yule log, hissing and crackling on the hearth. So the 12 days of Christmas began in Christian countries. Merriment prevailed, and noise and fire and light. Few of the revelers could have identified the ancient origins of their customs. The tracks that led from old rites to the midwinter feast were as crisscrossed and tangled as the footprints of animals in the snow. They stemmed from the wintry gloom of Scandinavia, where Odin presided over the sunless privations of the solstice, from Celtic and Saxon lands, from Italy and sunny Greece. The extravagantly merry element of Christmas went back as far as human knowledge. In England, the log was cut and dragged home by oxen or horses, and the people sang as they walked beside it. Often, it was decorated with evergreens and sometimes sprinkled with grain or with cider before it was set alight. In Yugoslavia, where the log was cut before dawn on Christmas Eve and carried into the house at twilight, the wood was adorned with flowers and silk and gold, then doused with an offering of wine and grain. Everywhere, the log was charged with beneficent magic. It was kept burning for 12 hours or for 12 days, warming hands and hearts, and when its fire was quenched, a fragment of the wood was saved to light the next year's log. The burning protected the household against witchcraft. The ashes were scattered over the fields to make them fertile, or cast into wells to purify water, or used in various charms. In Germany, the remnants of the log were thought to protect the house against lightning. In that Christmas fire blazed joy at the returning light. The log bore within itself the fires of spring. The sun seemed to die and revive. So did the world die in winter and live again each spring. As the sun's crisis passed each year, the balance of magic tipped in favor of friendly forces. The tales told then were of good magic and of kind enchantments. People gazed with affection at the animals around them, for instance. The beasts partook of the spell of Christmas. The animals of field and wood spoke them, said the storytellers. Each Christmas, the people said the animals were free to speak once more. Whoever ventured to the stable would hear the deep whispers of the cattle in the fold. The sheep muttered among themselves. In their hives, the bees sang canticles in perfect harmony. They sang that the cloud of midwinter had lifted. Gale, frost, snow, and ice would continue, but there was another climate invisible and impalpable, which brimmed with promise. Some fortunate souls were favored with the sight of fern seed at Christmas. It was thought to be visible only at the solstice. If a man or woman could obtain the seed, they acquired enviable powers. They could discern things hidden from others' eyes. Fern seed could make a person invisible. It could reveal the whereabouts of buried treasure. That was a power it shared with mistletoe, a plant of more venerable magic. Of all trees, perhaps the apple was most fraught with old enchantment, enshrining the potency of nature. It was the tree of fairyland and paradise, a talisman for entering the other world. Its fruit outlived other fruits, lasting into the depths of winter. Its juice fermented into a liquor that transported the mind. It was food and cheer at a time when both were scarce. It told its own future. If the sky was clear and the sun shone through the bare branches of an apple tree on Christmas morning, there would be a rich crop. The owners of orchards were well aware of the tree's power, and at Christmas, they made sure that it was roused from its dormancy. In Austria, maidens ceremoniously hugged the trees. Some of the magic of trees was brought into people's houses at Christmas time. The ancient Romans adorned their houses with fir branches, for fir trees were spirits of fertility, being evergreen and undying. The people of Austria had cut cherry, pear, or hawthorn branches and brought them into the warmth of their houses. From these customs, it seems, grew the tradition of Christmas tree, glittering with lights, hung with fruit and little gifts. But no one could say with certainty how the transformation was made. Saint Nicholas and Christmas trees, feasting and merriment. These embodied what Christmas came to be: the triumph of light over the dark, the promise of riches in the impoverished season. So joyful was the celebration, so replete with human victory, that winter itself seemed weakened. Not a venerable giant cruel in his cold power, but a vulnerable maiden trembling in the hands of humankind.